Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of We Empower. I'm thrilled to have you all with us today. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired. Let's make today count. In today's episode, we will diving into recapping something from the last week. And of course, we have a special song sorted out by Ruth von Heusinger, which is the intriguing personality of as our special guest for today. So in addition, we will have a special book, and the book seems to doesn't fit for our guest today because it's about a failure. Ruth von Heusinger, welcome here in this talk show.
Thanks a lot, Anabel. I'm really happy to be here.
Ruth, we haven't managed this and haven't talked about this, and we couldn't have even planned it. But this week, this day with you is a very historical day, I'd say. What happened in this week? I mean, that's enough for life, for a year, but for really not a week. We had a really whirlwind in the political situation on not only in Saxonia, but also on our national level. We have the situation currently, in addition with the election, with having now a new president in the United States, which might change a lot. We have on the 9th, 35 years of celebration of breaking the wall down. And then you got an award. So first of all, I would like to introduce you in a few words. Ruth says about herself that she's a graduate physicist, so physics graduate, worked in emissions trading and gained experience in the voluntary carbon market. She utilized her expertise to establish ForTomorrow. And reading this line you wrote about you, I thought, oh, okay, this is typical Ruth. She's a really doer. She's not a talker. She's really moving things. And this is one thing I like about you since we've got to know each other. Because the first meeting was when I heard from Grace, a supporting organization for women, which are getting entrepreneurs. They said, Anabel, we have the right mentee for you. She is a great enthusiastic person as you. I think you could be sistered.
Oh, nice.
When you're talking, you're moving things for the better. And when I saw her, it was super clear that we are super close, but that we will see each other super little because of our time schedules. So I'm more than happy to have you here. And yeah, welcome again. I said in the beginning, you won an award. Would you like to say a few words about this, because this is great what we were awarded for?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks a lot, Anabel, for having me here in the show. So it's a pleasure to be here, and especially after such a week with yeah, really a lot of turmoil. And it was really, really great that we got the award, especially in this week, because it reminded me that we have to move on.
Yes.
No matter what happens, we have to keep up the good work. And the award we got was for ForTomorrow. That's a nonprofit that I founded almost 5 years ago now. And what we do is that we give people the opportunity to buy away emission rights out of the emission trading system, so to keep EU emissions down and to plant new forests in Europe. And this award that we got was from Berlin. So it was about Berlin's social companies, and we got the first place in the category Planet. And also some money with it, which also helps us a lot, of course. And it's important to get this recognition, because sometimes the work feels a bit tedious when you're working so hard for these things, and then yeah, things happen, natural catastrophes, for example. I just got through experienced one in Valencia last week. So it's a tough week. And there's so much we need to do to get our climate stable again.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. And it is a climate outside. It's a climate inside us, where we have to also stay with our energy inside us. And therefore, you sorted out the song "Fall at Your Feet" by Lost Frequencies, which is a which is such a kind of great, because this "Fall at Your Feet" could be just a kind of shout out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really. It's a song that really relaxes me. Because it reminds me to not dwell on past mistakes, to not dwell on what bad is happening in the world, but really to look for the positive things, to trust, and to do the best you can.
And isn't it also that lost frequencies is also a kind of symbol for our current situation? Because it feels sometimes to me that we speed up all the time, even more and more. People lost the connection to nature. And how can you fight for nature, or how can you apply for nature, even if it's this where you come from or where you go to? If you lost the frequency of this, if you don't know exactly what it means or what it takes, if you always had it and you had never the experience that this is something a rare good, then it's sometimes that I have the feeling that a lot of people lost this frequency of nature.
Yes.
Do you think that organizations like you can bring this back, or what do you need? What do you think? What does it need to get back this frequency?
Yeah, so I think it's really important to stay in good connection with yourself and also with the nature around you, because it's all about connection. We are in an ecosystem and we are not alone. What we do with ForTomorrow, for example, is when we plant this new forest, we invite everybody to plant with us. So it's really nice to plant together these trees that will, if everything goes well, then they will outlast us. They will get older than we will get, most likely. And it's such a nice experience to really plant something with your hands that will stay there in the future and that will do good and provide living space for the bees and the birds around us. So that's just really nice. And also to stay away from all this media and social media and just do something with your hands outside in nature. That's
Yeah.
always a nice experience.
Is it that you are part of that often and are sharing this experience with the people?
Can you repeat? I
Are you
lost the
often,
first.
are you often part of these experience? Are you often part of these situations where you plant a tree, where you are to?
Yeah, we always, every planting site that we do, we go there and plant a few trees together, because it's on the one hand, it's just important to know the site and to really know how the work is done. And on the other hand, it's just a great opportunity for everybody to really see what we are doing and why it's important, and also how much work it is, because it is really much work to plant a new forest.
Yeah, exactly. To imagine that, can you describe for the people who are listening to us now, do you have ground, or is it that the customers, your customers have to deliver ground? Where are you planting these trees? Because you talked also about bees and birds. How can we imagine that?
Yeah, so it's people, they just donate to us
Mhm.
because it's a non-profit. And then we use these donations, and with partners together, we find sites where there's no forest now. So, for example, we planted on a site where in GDR time there was coal exploited,
Mhm.
and nothing grew on this land because the earth was so bad, that the soil was so bad that was there. So the land is state owned still. So we work with the local governments, and then we just finance the new forest, and there we always do a lot of talking with the people who are there because they know what's best species to plant there. But we have some strict measures. So it must always be a mixed forest, so different tree species, and then tree species that bloom as well, because that's really important for the insects. And then we have always in autumn and in spring, you can plant the forest. In summer, you can't plant, and in winter, you can't plant because soil is just too cold. But in autumn and in spring, then we have the planting site. So we will go to the next site in December now, and then we will plant a new forest with the school class together. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, and then in spring again.
Yeah, great. And are you involving also the regional partners or the village, the streets around the city?
Yes, yes. So now with the school class, that's a regional school class that's coming. Sometimes politicians are also coming from the region. And we always work with a local forest person because they just know best what's possible on that land.
Right. You have been doing this for 5 years already, Ruth, and you've built up a team. How many people do you have on in your team currently?
Our team is still quite small. We are 4 people now, and we will be 5 next year. So that's nice. It's growing. But we wouldn't be able to manage all the work without all the volunteers. So we have a huge amount of volunteers who
If
do
somebody is
little
interested,
projects.
sorry for interrupting you, but if somebody is interested and says, "Okay, what Ruth does, I would love to support her," can they write you if they're interested to support you?
Yeah, please look up at fortomorrow.eu. We have an English website as well, and there we always have the packages that we need for volunteering.
Great.
So that's most welcome.
Okay, then we have to check. You have to check this out because it worth value, and it is for our planet definitely. Ruth, you are not only an entrepreneur, you are also a mother, as I know. Is it right?
Yes, I have 2 children, 7 and 9-year-olds now.
Isn't it sometimes challenging if you have a job which is not only a job, which is even more like this, which is a kind of let's say a call of life for you, and something where you want to move the world for the better, and then having kids, which sometimes even want the mother full time.
Yeah, I actually founded ForTomorrow during my maternity leave. And it was really because I thought, okay, what can we do more? And I wanted to give people the opportunity to really bring down emissions here in Europe. So it was really motivated by my children. But then, of course, the first years were really hard because building up a new company takes a lot of time. And on the other hand, I had my young children who also need a lot of time. But luckily, I could combine a lot because, Corona just started. We started in 2020, we went live, and then everything was doable from home.
Yeah.
So that was partly also good for me in that time. But yeah, also really challenging.
I can imagine. Before we go into the first break and see each other then 3 minutes afterwards, maybe one last question before the break. Can you give us maybe 3 hacks how you deal with a new situation? There's a kid, you have your job, which is even much more than a job. What were your 3 biggest hacks for getting done this and not struggling with all of that?
Yeah, I remember a meeting. I was in a meeting with an important company, and then my little kid shouted something that it had finished something and was really proud. And then I just shouted back, "Well done!" And then my other kid did the same, and I shouted back again, "Well done!" And it was just, then I could continue the meeting because I just quickly gave them what they needed. And the people in the meeting didn't mind. They laughed, I explained it. And I think that's just possible. You can combine the two, and mostly people are really friendly about it. So that was also really nice from the business partners, of course.
Yeah, that's, I think, a great learning. Some people are really shy to do so, and they think, it's unprofessional, but that's life. No, it fits to us. It's a part of us. So why not integrating this and showing also with this reaction of you that you are a full professional, knowing how relevant it is to give young people a good feedback at the right time. Ruth, we started in our first session and first part of the talk show talking about your life as an entrepreneur. And I asked you how many people you have in your team, not just not because of saying, oh, you're small or you're big, but I think it's important to understand that each time, each period of entrepreneurship is really challenging. And because, I mean, even a small team has to be led by good leadership. And even if you're running out of money or you have also other challenges around you, this can be really tough. And I mean, I know from the past where some people said, okay, how many people do you have working for you? And I said, okay, this and this. Oh, this is little. I thought you were bigger. But it's not about that. I mean, that is about the idea, and it's about the messages you give into the world and what you can do with this stone you're throwing into water, right? And the stone can be a small one, but the impact can be a big one. It's all about ourselves. And then you started as a solo founder. Um, how was the step from being the one for everything to getting first your team, if you look back into this? Have it changed your role and your understanding of yourself?
Yeah, it was. I mean, there is my favorite song also fits really well with "Let It Go" because when you do everything, and it's
Maybe
kind
this
of
year. Hey.
yeah, it's at first it was a bit hard to let go, but I
Yeah,
wanted it as well because I wanted to give away the responsibility. I
yeah,
want people to really take over a certain area, and there were areas where I'm just not really good at, like marketing. I'm not a marketing person, so in the end, I was really happy to let it go and to give it up and to give over the responsibility to somebody else. And yeah, so it was hard to take the step to really let go and not be a leader who has something in his mind, in her mind, and wants it exactly the same way, but to
yeah.
really allow people to find their own ways. But in the end, it's so much better because it frees also so much time for me. And then I can focus really on the stuff that I can do best and that I like best. So I'm really happy with the situation now. So, and if I also hear this, that people tell me that, oh, that's a small team. But I actually take it as a compliment because it means if they are astonished that we get so much done with a small team, then that's a compliment, of course.
Exactly.
Um,
I would completely agree with you. And I mean, it also needs the same procedures or same rules to make a good team, because if you want to grow, the substance have to be right. Do you
yeah.
have here some keys or rules you gave the team or you developed together with the team that you can make sure that even in crisis times, even in times where they may be challenged by the situation in our work, that you keep your team motivated and effective and engaged?
Yes, so what we really established were we used more tools when we grew. So we use Notion, for example, and Slack to just
Like that.
keep the communication because it's just so important. Before, if you are just one person or two person, of course you know everything, but
Mm.
then when you grow, it's not so. Yeah, you need to have redundancies so that people can take over easily, and that's why we document a lot in Notion so that it's so helpful. And then what we also did is, so I like if people can just work the way how they can perform best. So we have a lot of freedom in the organization. But we have some rules so that for the meetings that we do together, we have 2 regular meetings each week, that we are there all in the office so that
Good.
we can talk together, because we just experienced that for this trust basis that you need, especially when there are challenges, it's so much easier if you are together in person and can really, talk the things over, and also go to lunch together on these days. And yeah, that just helps a lot. But otherwise, we also work a lot from home. I'm at my home at the moment. And I think that's also really good for especially the focused work.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think this mixture is good, and it needs the rules, as you say, no? Besides thing, it needs, of course, the focus, and it needs also the rules given by all of you. You went into Mint, and still nowadays we have many campaigns running about getting more girls into mathematics, physics, and so what did you do, or what did maybe your parents do, or your environment, that you were so interested in this field?
Yeah, that's actually, it's a funny question, because my mom actually, she is a judge. So when I was really little, I wanted to be a judge like my mom, and my father, he's a manager. So then I wanted to be a manager. And then I asked my father, what do I need to study to become a manager? And he said, just study what interests you. So that was a really good tip. And then I let myself inspired by, actually, it was a comic book. It's called Yokotsuno. I don't know if you know it. I think it's a Belgian drawer, and it's a Japanese character, a woman character, who is an electrician, actually. So I studied with electrical engineering. There are even less women than in physics. And then in electrical engineering, we had math and physics as well. And I just found it so interesting that I wanted to deepen my knowledge there. So I moved to physics then.
Right. And was it always clear for you? I mean, you founded the Greenpeace group, and so it was quite early clear for you that you wanted to do something for the climate, for our planet?
Yes, that was also, it was a children's book I had. I was around 4 years old. I think it's called, it's a German book, Die Kinder unter der Erde, so the children under the earth. And it's about Mother Earth talking to the people that they don't treat her right, and the grown-ups are not listening. And then she talks to the children are listening. They talk to the grown-ups, but the grown-ups are not listening to their children. And then Mother Earth takes in the children so that they sleep in the earth. And then the grown-ups start to rethink and start to see how meaningless their lives is without their children. And it's a really touching book. And then they start to change. Then they start to repair stuff. They start to install renewable energy. And it's also described that it's hard to do the transformation, but that it's worth it. And that really, I think that influenced me a lot. And that was also, then while I was friends, I did this Greenpeace group in school time already.
Sounds interesting, Ruth. Do you have still this book, Die Kinder unter der Erde?
Yeah, I actually still got it, and I got it now and read it to my kids as well.
Oh, that's interesting. I have so if you can provide me the complete title, I would provide it later.
Yeah, I think it's Die Kinder in der Erde, but I can send you a link. Yeah.
Okay,
I
great.
wonder if it's there in English as well, if it got translated. It was during the 80s. I think it was during this time where you had Chernobyl, and where a lot of people thought that we need to do things differently.
Yeah, great. It is also for me that some books touched me that way, that a few months ago I started getting these books even, and paid a lot of money for these. Really touching moments with the photo series books written by Astrid Lindgren, photographed by very well-known photographers, about Kinder of the world, portraying them, about their culture, about the habits, about their special ideas about the world. But back to you. I mean, you started not nonprofit. You started profit, and then you realized that you wanted to go into a nonprofit. Was there a special situation where it was clear to you, besides your motherhood, that that it might be now the right moment? Was there an experience which you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I think it was also, I mean, it was really because I got more independent.
Yeah.
I got an inheritance.
Mhm.
And before, I always wanted to be independent. So I always had this, when I worked in the for-profit area still, I always saved money so that I can have this independence, so that I don't need to work from a certain age anymore.
Mhm.
And then I got this inheritance, and then I was thinking, what do I really want to do? What's really the most important? And that was for me really climate protection. So then I moved to a company where really climate protection was the overall goal and not making money. So that was the reason why I moved into the nonprofit sector then.
Yeah. If you compare the people working in both areas, would you say that the types of people are different?
That's an interesting question. Um, I think more the system is different, because if you work in the for-profit area, you have a lot of good people working there for good things as well, but you still always have the system where you need to generate profit, and you need to generate it for some shareholders.
Mm.
And that's something you don't have in the nonprofit area. I mean, there you of course also generate profit, but the profit all goes back to the good goal. So for us, it's climate protection. So that really makes a different system, where you also have a different thinking, because you know this goal is the most important, the climate protection, and not making money for shareholders.
Mm. Do you think that this is something which is more relaxing the people in a kind of, "Oh, I can work for the things which are really matter than just working for, yeah, for some finance I can't grab, I can't really see, which is not something I get a return."
I think actually more the other way around,
Mhm.
because you have a lot of really purpose-driven people there, and who tend to overwork themselves because they just want to reach this goal, like stop global warming, which is a huge goal. And in the other space, it's much more easier if you have a currency where you can put your work on. So you know, you work and you get money, and then it's done. It's a bit more easier to um, yeah, to know when you have worked enough. In the nonprofit area, it's like you can always do more, and you can always get closer to your goal that's really close to your heart as well. And then
Yeah.
you really need to look out for the people, that they don't overwork themselves.
Mhm.
In the other for-profit area, it's more like, okay, if I should work more, I want more money. And
Yeah.
it's a bit more, yeah,
It's an
it's a bit
important
different.
point. So you have to take care a bit more of the people, right?
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
yourself too. And I can feel this because same to me, that sometimes I'm sitting at my desk and checking out the news and thinking, I can't sleep. I have to
Yeah,
work.
I have to do something.
Exactly. It's so much horrible happening outside. I can't stop now and lay in bed and just doing nothing. And then you have to give yourself rest, understanding that the power you have inside you is at least same important than that, right?
Yeah, you have to take really good care of yourself.
Is there something
Um,
how you do this? I mean, with two kids, a challenging job, with this crisis outside, is there something
yeah,
you have for yourself to stay powerful?
I really had to learn that, because before you know, I mean, everybody likes to maybe to think of themselves as like superwoman or something, that you can do more and more and more.
Yeah.
And but then I had really good coaches, And I changed my thinking. So now I think more about it like sports. You can do a lot, but then you also need the pauses, and the pauses are really, really important because that's the time where you grow. So I value the pauses more. I do a lot of writing then, or meditation, or sports. For example, I go running in the morning, and at the moment I even don't listen. I don't listen to anything when I run because I have so much in my head and I need to process it. So that helps me a lot. And I have a bit of tea ceremony. I drink green tea every morning, and then I take time to plan my day, to write, to reflect. And I just noticed at this time, it's really work time. It's really valuable for the work.
That's great. Because you are facing so many challenges, it's important to stay tight, right?
Yeah, and to stay focused.
Yeah, exactly. And isn't there something that you think by healing and supporting the word, I could do here, there. How do you make it to stay focused? I mean, you told us this tea ceremony. Yes, I understand that. But I mean, if many people come, Ruth, don't you want to go here in the board? Don't you want to help us on not only planting trees, but also growing?
Yeah.
How can you stay focused by saying no at the right time?
Yeah, so what helps me a lot is my calendar is full. And if I let something
Can
new
imagine.
in, I need to get rid of something else. Otherwise it doesn't work because I can't magically make that the day is one hour longer. I wish I could, but I can't. So that helps a lot if you have this in your mind that if you let something new in, you have to put something else out. And then I have my priorities really right. So for me, the focus is on Europe. I think it's really good if we do climate protection projects in the global south as well. But for me, the focus is on Europe because I think we need to get it right here. We need to get climate neutral here. And to have that is then really easy. Then I can help people who do the other stuff because I know it's important, but I know that it's not what I do. So I can separate there.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, Ruth, there would be so much more I would like to ask you. And you gave us great messages like that we should follow our feet. It's important that we all always stay focused and that a break sometimes makes the best grow ever. So thank you very, very much to be here in the show. I'm very much looking for our further cooperation. And it's great that there are people in the world like you, which are spending the time and even a lot of their energy over the day with by making the world a better place and making the people around us understanding it easily, because that's the same important, not only doing, but also making it easy for other people to be able to follow you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Anabel, and thanks a lot for listening.